Hey everybody, welcome back to the Summer Scripture Memory Challenge. Taking a few weeks off. I was on vacation, but I hope you didn't take any weeks off. I hope you were memorizing and reviewing those scriptures. We've done 4 so far, and if you remember correctly, we've used 4 different methods to memorize the scripture. So for example, we started out with a basic method of sort of understanding the structure of the scripture and then using that as a way to help us memorize. We also tried an art method where you actually draw out the different words so that they kind of help you remember this idea where, a picture is worth 1,000 words kind of a thing. We did a musical one, which I like that one quite a bit because I like music and I'm a musician. And then lastly, we did the acted out one, which is great for kids or, for kids of all ages. So today we're going to use sort of that first method that we learned, which is understanding the structure of the scripture. But you can use any of the methods that we've learned so far if they've been working for you. So if you want to draw the pictures or do some music or act it out, you can do that. Now, this scripture is a great one, especially considering what we're all going through right now. This is Romans chapter 5, verses 3, 4, and half of verse 5. It's a good scripture because we all need to be reminded about this. Let me read it to you. It says, "More than that, we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope, and hope does not put us to shame." This is a letter that the Apostle Paul wrote to the church in Rome. And basically what he's explaining is that life itself is full of challenges and suffering. And obviously we're all going through something right now. And, people might think, oh, well, you're a pastor, you're probably handling it great, you're probably super positive and looking on the bright side. No, that is not the case. I am struggling just like the rest of you guys. I get frustrated with this. I want to get back to normal. I don't want to be stuck in the house. I don't want to wear a mask around. This scripture kind of helps to put things in perspective, that there is a plan and a purpose for even the difficult things that we go to. Those things can help make us stronger. So here's how we're going to start. There are 4 words that I want you to write down on a piece of paper, and I want you to write them out top to bottom, starting with the word suffering. And then under suffering, I want you to write down the word endurance. And under endurance, I want you to write the word character. And under character, I want you to write the word hope. Suffering, endurance, character, and hope. All right, now each one of those words is going to play into the next one. But if you sort of look at this, and this might help you, you've got suffering, which begins with an S, endurance, which begins with an E, character, which begins with a C, and hope, which begins with an H, and it spells out a fake word, sech. Okay, sech. If you can remember that, then you can remember the order of the words, suffering, endurance, character, and hope. And here's how you're going to remember that. This is such a great Bible verse to memorize. Okay, so now that you've got those 4 words memorized, you're going to put the verse together, starting with the very first phrase of the verse, which says, "More than that." Now, it's referring obviously to the verses previous to this one, and I would encourage you to read those verses because they'll help put this in context. But we start with the words "more than that," and then the phrase, "we rejoice in our sufferings." Paul's idea here is that we are excited or we are happy in a way to be suffering because we know that suffering is going to produce something better in our lives. Now, I know that's not easy to do, but that's what our goal should be. So he says, "More than that, we rejoice in our sufferings." By the way, that's plural, which means that there are more sufferings. There's more than just one kind of suffering. And then here is how we're going to put those 4 words into play. Knowing that suffering produces endurance. All right? when you suffer, if you suffer with the right mindset, understanding, right, that we rejoice in it, then it's going to produce something. It produces endurance. Endurance is the ability to keep going. So, suffering produces endurance. And then endurance produces something. According to the scripture, endurance produces character. What's character? Well, character is the person you are. It is how you believe and how other people see you. Okay, so suffering produces endurance. Endurance produces character. Now, what does character produce? Well, something that we all need. Character produces hope. There's that fourth word. So you see how this puts together? We start at the beginning. More than that, we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces what? Endurance. Endurance produces what? Character. Character produces hope. And then the last phrase, which is the best phrase, hope will not put us to shame. Meaning there will be a positive outcome. Even if things continue to be bad, even if they get worse, the idea is there is hope, especially if we understand where we are in the process. God uses and allows difficult times in our life to produce some good qualities, endurance and in character and hope. And I hope that's encouraging for you today. So what you can do is write this down on some 3x5 cards and lay that verse out the way that I showed you, the way you see here on the screen. You can put those 3x5 cards around your house, maybe by your bed at night before you go to bed, on the mirror in the morning as you're getting ready for the day, maybe by the coffee maker if you stop there, maybe by the refrigerator in your office at work. Maybe just memorize those 4 words: suffering, endurance, character, hope. Remember the little acrostic, SETCH, because this is such a great Bible verse to memorize. That's our challenge for today. I hope that you're doing well with it. If you have any questions, if you need some help, please don't be afraid to reach out to me directly. I would love to help you as we study and memorize Scripture together. That's all for today. So long, everybody. God bless.